Hi, this is Chris Wall at the Wall Network, and today I'm going to go over some of the differences that exist between lease timers inside of VMware vCloud Director. And there's usually a lot of questions around the two different lease timers that exist, so I'm going to cover a couple different points. To begin with, you set the lease timers in the administration section of an organization. So you can see here in my lab, I'm in the developers organization, go to administration, policies, and then there we have the maximum runtime lease and storage lease. Now, by default, whatever you set these values to will be used whenever a user deploys a vApp. So I have it to 10 days for runtime, 25 days for storage. So when someone goes in to create a vApp, it will suck in these values and use them for the lease timers. Now, if you want to change it so that an individual vApp has a different lease timer, you can, but these are the two maximums that will be enforced. So while you can make it lower on a per vApp basis after they've been deployed, you can't necessarily make it higher. What will happen is you'll get a red box pull up and say that exceeds the maximum storage lease time that's available. Now, moving on, I'm going to go to the home screen here. I've got a vApp called Lease Demo, and you can see that it's currently running with a lease timer expiring in 10 days. So I right-click and get properties on this vApp. We can see the lease timers that this vApp is using. You'll notice the runtime lease, which is basically the amount of time we're going to let the vApp run before vCloud Director is going to stop it, is set to 10 days, which today's the 8th, so on the 18th, it's going to be automatically stopped. You'll notice here, while we have a storage lease defined of 25 days, there's actually no expiration date shown because the vApp is not stopped. So until there is an action occurring on the vApp to stop it, the storage lease will not begin. Conversely, if it's a vApp that has been stopped, there will be no runtime lease that is being enforced. These two items are mutually exclusive. You won't have both a runtime and a storage lease ticking down at the same time, because runtime can only occur when it's powered on, and storage lease expiration can only occur when it's not powered on. Now, notice here it says it's going to expire at 11:20 on 6/18. So I want to show you one way that you can do what I call bouncing the vApp to reset this timer. This is something a user might do when they're reaching the end of their runtime lease, and they want to go ahead and just extend that time without maybe circumventing the actual process that's in place. Maybe to do an extension, you require some kind of blocking task, or maybe you're just counting on the runtime lease of 10 days being the absolute maximum that this vApp will run, which is, it can happen, but I'll show you a way around it so that you don't just assume that it'll happen. So again, 11:20. Now if I do a power off operation here, I'm going to go ahead and shut down this demo virtual machine. We'll see that the runtime lease will go away, at least the expiration of it will go away, and we'll see a new lease time or a new lease expiration for the storage lease. So I'm going to give this just a second to stop, and then we'll take a look at the storage lease. And there we go. So now it says 25 days are left on the lease timer because we've switched over to the storage lease, if I get properties again. Now notice now that there is no expiration date shown for runtime. However, we now have an expiration date of about 25 days out for the storage side. So I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to power this back on. And we'll let that power back on. And what we'll notice is that now the runtime lease has been reset. So it's going to show before it was 11:20. Now we're going to see a new time based on when it was just powered on. Okay, so it's powered back on. I'll get properties on this vApp again. And now notice that the storage lease expiration date is gone, and we have a runtime lease expiration set to 6/18 and 11/24. Now I know a 4-minute extension really isn't a big deal. I'm just showing you that you can extend it by doing that. So if it only had 1 day left, now it would have 10 new days left, so you've extended it by about 9 days. So that's one way that you may wonder how a vApp is surviving past the 10 days. That's really how it's working, is they may be doing a power off and on. It may be completely innocent, or it may be intentional. And the same goes for the storage lease. So really the only way you could prevent that from happening is potentially controlling the power on or off operations, which probably isn't done that often. I don't see people usually revoke the power on process. Or just better understanding the lease timers themselves and making sure that you account for that in your vCloud Director design.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found the information valuable, make sure to click the like button. And if you'd like to see more videos on my channel, please become a subscriber. For more articles on technical solutions and home lab building, achieving certifications, and so on, head on over to wallnetwork.com. Thank you.